He's like an Energizer bunny, never runs out of energy, do you, George?
Trying to have lots of supply.
And I just want to thank you on behalf of everyone else for all that you do as a team, because you are always, like even this morning, George is messaging me, what can I do to help? Last night, what can I do to help? He's amazing. So thank you. We really, really appreciate it.
Cool. Well, guys, welcome along. And yeah, Trev said to tell the story, so we'll start with that. I actually went to uni in Tasmania, so Bob's down there. Bob actually, I know Bob through my parents through the previous game we all used to be in, which is pretty cool. But I went to uni in Tasmania, so I actually did a 4-year degree. I learned to drink. That's a different. But I put in 4 years to learn how to go and do a professional career. And I'll lead back into that, into the training a little bit later on with that. But it's fantastic. But when I graduated, my brother had been working at a restaurant in Gawler in South Australia, and Timmy Dwyer and Brenton were there at a meal. And Brenton said to Sparky, he said, if you want to make $1 million in the next 5 to 10 years, call me before 7 o'clock in the morning. Sparky looked at the card, said, wanker. Excuse the language, by the way, sorry. He's gone, that's not going to happen. 6:45, Sparky's called up Brenton. Yeah, tell me about this thing. Brenton showed him things. Sparky says, those circles have driven me mad. His license plate used to say draw 00, draw circles. It's absolutely fantastic. Sparky comes to Tasmania and says to me, what do you know about Amway? Nothing. I don't know anything, I've never heard anything about it. Sit down, shut up, I'm going to show you what we're going to do for the next 5 to 10 years to make $1 million. I go, really? Okay, cool. So that was his curiosity approach and everything else. And again, we had an absolute ball in that game. It was fantastic. Met Trev, I moved to Melbourne and then to Sydney straight after that. Met Trev on the way up there. Absolutely fantastic. We did an open meeting in Pyramid Hill, I think it was. So I drove up there. I'd never driven in Victorian country before, but it was an interesting drive. And then Des said, come back and stay at my house. I said, cool, we did that. And then moved on up to Sydney. I built the business in New Zealand. It's an international business, which is very different to this business here, because in this business you make money out of doing stuff internationally immediately. That one's very different. Anyway, had a great time, but then again I got to the level of silver in that business, which was a fairly high level. A lot of work. We used to do 15 presentations a month. We used to do go-getters, and so it was fantastic. Never done it in this business, and I'll come back to that again in a moment. And again, huge functions. The function of 30,000 one that Trev talked about, that was absolutely awesome. And like, we've got the goal to fill stadiums, and we can definitely do that with FSI. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. But the atmosphere at those huge functions, absolutely incredible. Cool. Okay, so for me, I worked professionally. I was a senior manager at Australia Post in my most recent career in that. But in that, the whole time doing that, the skills that we've learned from the books and tapes, absolutely fantastic. I used that in managing teams. I ran huge teams there, it was fantastic. 16 years down the track, all the rules changed, and they said, oh, do all your projects with half the resources. Do the next project with half the resources. No, we're having fun doing our jobs. And all the whole time, every time I met someone, I'm collecting their business, I'm going to get back into networking at some point. I'm going to get back into networking. So while I was still at Post, Trev calls me and says, oh, I've got this product B. And I'm going, take that away from me, thank you very much. I have absolutely no interest in doing vitamins, minerals and everything. Trev says, cool, he says, but just watch, just follow and see what's going on. Yeah, okay, cool. So Trev goes, he's doing all this stuff, doing the product B. Then he goes on his kayak and he goes, Mooloolaba to Whitsundays. I go, at least he's on a boat. It's a kayak. I race jet skis. I'm thinking like, this is ridiculous. Anyway, for some reason or other, YouTube started sending me Peter Kelly videos. And like, that is one weird chick. She is seriously switched on. She relates to the kids, to the younger generation, everything else. And talking about weird chicks. This morning, Facebook sends me a message saying, Peter Kelly's going to talk to you today. I go, really? Wow, okay. So she's come up and she says, this whole thing is a holistic wellness system. I thought, how cool way of summarising what we're doing. Seriously cool. But again, I have absolutely no idea how YouTube knew to send me those videos. It kept sending me. Not interested. I take voluntary redundancy from Post. I go jet skiing. I took Ed with me, we went around the coast, we had all sorts of fun. Blew 140 grand in under 12 months jet skiing. Was not popular with my wife. Not at all. But lots of fun. We had good fun, didn't we? Excellent, we did. Okay, so got back from that, and one of my other upline from the other business had been talking to me as well. Trevor had always been there watching over, and I saw this thing of a Peter Kelly or a function that was here in Melbourne. Thought, okay, I'll go to that. I said, get me tickets for it. Yeah. And Brenton says, yeah, I can't do it, they're sold out. Bad luck, I'm on the train already, I'm going in, I'm just going to get there. And if, again, just as a point, if you ever go to an ISA function and you hear that it's sold out, don't worry, go anyway, because you can always buy a ticket at the door. And I went there and I said to her, look, I haven't got a ticket. She said, don't worry, just go straight in. I go in, first person I see is Trev. He said, what are you doing here? I said, I'm here to learn how to make money. He said, I showed you that 5 years ago and you told me impolitely where to go. I said, yeah. Didn't need to make money then, I do now. And he says, cool. He says, okay, how about we get together, I'll come to your place. I said, no. He says, mate, I said, you've been doing it 5 years longer, I want to go check out the fruit on the tree. He says, by all means, come down to my place. Cool. I said, next day, cool. Have you guys ever went to Trev's place at Rosebud? 3 stories high. Left-hand side looks out over Rosebud Golf Club. Right-hand side looks out over Port Phillip Bay. I walk through the door and go, pick me, yeah, pick me. But at that time we had the full story, which was a 1.5 hour presentation. At least this one's under an hour. It was a 1.5 hour presentation, so pretty cool.
On a video?
On a video, yeah. It's a press play. So one of my things is when you're learning in this business is press play often and do it lots. But anyway, Trev's opened up his laptop, press play, gone back to his office, I'm sitting there watching it. After half an hour, he comes back with a shake. Cool, I've had the shake. He's pressed play again. After another half hour, he's come back with a food bar. I go, hang on a minute, aren't both of these a meal? He says, yeah, but don't worry about it, you'll like it. Okay, cool. I eat the bar, that's pretty yummy too, not a problem. At the end of that, it's at the end of the 90 minutes things, I said, okay, it says in there that most people get started with this president's pack. I said, order me one of those things, and I want to know how to make money out of this thing straight away. Just says, cool. He says, I'll process that order for you. And again, I thought, because I've got a couple of my really good friends who are in the business, but initially got in for products. So I thought I might have been put into their business, but no, luckily I was put into Trev's directly. Thank you very much for that. That's a very valuable asset, but anyway, that's a different issue. You'll learn about that as you go through. Anyway, pack comes. Oh, sorry. The key to get that started to make the money, Trev says, I've got this email with all the links to the videos. Just send it out to as many people as you can. That week I sent it out to 50 people. Okay? Sent the video out to 50 people. 7 people in the next 3 weeks came back to me and said, yeah, I want to do it. Ed's one of them. That's 3.5 years or 3 and a bit years ago. Okay, and now new consultant. How cool is that? Not? So I'll talk about that one a little bit in a minute. Okay, so 7 people said, yep, want to get started. That paid for it. So go back to the little point. The money that I spent on that President's Pack was the last of my redundancy cash. I was very efficient at spending money that year. A lot of money. Anyway, when the pack came, I had no option but to use it because I couldn't afford to pay for anything else. And there was no more money left. It was gone. Still not happy at home, that's a different issue. So there's no money left, seriously cool. And then, as I said, 7 people said, yep, they wanted to do it. So that paid for my first President's Pack. It paid for my President's Pack for the next month. So that was 3 weeks into the business. I've received a bonus every week now since then. Okay, I've had free food for over 3 years. I've now, as it says here, I've done 10 ISA body challenges. When you do an ISA body challenge, it's $200 of free food again every time you finish it. Okay, and so everyone, all you need to do is register for it, load your before photos. So these are my original before photos down the bottom there. Okay, so I've dropped 24 kilos, or I dropped 26 at one stage, got too low, I have to put it back up. But basically I've managed to stay under 82 kilos now for 3 years. I use President's Pack every month. Okay, it's been free, my jet skiing's free, my snow skiing's free, it's all paid for by Isogenics. Okay, and the thing is, I'm not, okay, so as of last night, there was 699 people in my organisation. So one of the things you'll learn about this thing is don't compare yourselves to others, okay? There are some people out there absolutely on fire at the moment, and that is fantastic. But the thing about it is that you can make money in this thing by doing all the work yourself, which is what I've done, okay? But what you can do is use the system, go for the fight, find the people, find out what they want, help them get it, okay? When you do that, you get your time leveraged. But either way, you can still make good money out of this thing straight away. It is fantastic. Lots of different things there. Yeah, emails. Yeah, so what I want to do is, the other thing about it is the importance of using the products. Back in our other game, we had 100% user. Basically, it's the same thing here. Use the product, you get the results, it's awesome, the energy and everything else. But when you're on the products and you're on auto ship, what happens is those points, your own usage points sum up, okay? And again, so when people start sharing, all you need is one person in both leagues and things all sum together. We had a 9-cycle week for one of my consultants last week, okay? Because what happened was I actually talked to both. One of the people on the thing just got started on the $50 a week program, and the other person, I just gave a call, and I was actually talking to them about jet skiing, about this new video we've got, which actually replays our rides. And we're talking about that, and I said, oh, by the way, we've got this hokey pokey flavour coming through. He put an order in for 3 containers of shakes, made the consultant come back together, 9 cycles, $540 bonus, out of the accumulated usage of the person for that time frame of being in the business. One of them was the very first girl I sponsored. She received the email. When I actually called her, she said, oh, that's fantastic, just order me the biggest pack there is. I said, but we haven't even done the presentation. She said, yeah, it doesn't matter. I've got a message from above. Older, wiser gentleman's going to come and talk to me. And that's obviously you, George. Really? Okay. She said, just order me the biggest pack. And I said, okay, cool. Well, here's the credit card details. Fine, I forget. She gets the pack at the end of the first month. She said, it was a bit more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I said, well, you didn't tell me about it. Didn't let me tell you about the price. She said, okay. And I said, how'd you go with it? She said, awesome. She said, I dropped 5 kilos. Sorry, I've increased my weight by 5 kilos. I'm going, what? I go, okay, is that good or is that bad? She said, it is the best. She said, I was gaunt, I had no energy. She said, I now feel fantastic, I've filled out, my face is filled out. She said, this is the best. And again, she ordered one of the hokey pokey shakes during the week as well. So these things just go through, so it's all good fun. What I want to do is a little bit on the training, things like that. We've been going through the system here. It looks like this presentation is a little bit more updated than the previous one I downloaded, so there's a challenge for all of us. I was going to ask the questions, who's got the full presentation downloaded on their laptops? Okay, so I'll take the question one further. Who's actually pressed play and watched every one of the videos that are in that full presentation? Excellent. I encourage you to do it again, and it looks like there's more material in there now, so I assume the new link is on the site?
Yeah, new link's on the site.
New link's on the site. So I encourage you all, as soon as you get home, download the new version of the full presentation and then go through it, because there is so much awesome information in there. And what we want to do is basically have a quick look. There's a couple of things that, again, I'm a tape junkie from the previous business. I love the information, love the music and all the rest of it. It's seriously cool. But with it is that one of the things I've just got recently from the different speakers is that when you go through and make your list, the first thing you want to do is write down 10 characteristics of people that you would like to have on your board of executives for this business. Okay? And some of those characteristics are going to be motivated, ambitious, looking to improve health, maybe trustworthy, which would be a pretty good one. But you want to write in your own 10 characteristics. And then the next section we're going to do was make a list.
Going through the GPS is another thing that's going to help you to understand that we've got a track to run on. We've got a track to run on. And, the first thing is get your dreams, your goals, your ambitions, have that nailed down. But then once you've done that, you need to make up a list of names. I mean, the easiest way to get, and I promise you, every network I teach is the same thing, right? But it's to come up with a big long list of names. Then you got to contact and connect those people on the list. That's by far the quickest and easiest way to do it. And see, making a list of your potential business associates is one of the most important steps in achieving your goals. And it's often been said that your list is your capital in the business. And the bigger the list, the more capital you have available to work with. And it's so important to understand that we're looking for people who want to improve either their health and or their finances. And to be honest with you, most people do, so don't prejudge them. Write them all down, because you really do not know who is currently looking and who is not. You also don't know who they know that you don't. They may not be interested at this point, but they may know somebody who does go out and tear it up. And you can always ask for referrals. So dedicate some time exclusively to making a written list of absolutely everybody you know, right, everywhere. Include acquaintances from years ago. I mean, guys, if you go back and listen to Kylie Donald, anyway, she's a top income earner here, making $1.5 million a year now, right? And
Cool. And so, again, making a list is such a basic of this thing. And really interesting, if you go back to Trev's webinar for about 6 weeks ago, I think it was, Trev talks about that he went through, downloaded his Facebook list, downloaded his contacts from him, put them together, and actually got the confidence to say, hey, I've got an asset here, and this we can go through it. But when you're going through that list, is actually the 10 characteristics I talked about first. Go through and write down that characteristic that you think that person has. Because when you call them, you can complement them with that characteristic, okay? And the big thing about this thing is we're looking to how we can help people get what they require out of this thing. Okay? Not what you can get for it, it's what they can get, okay? And when you've written down the characteristic next to that name, it makes it an awful lot easier. You go to them and you say, hey, I've always thought that you have been ambitious, or I've always thought that you've been key in business. Okay, and so you can compliment the person, and it helps you with your contact. Again, it's just starting to fall into place for me at the moment, which is seriously cool. And just again, and we'll go into another point in a minute, but I actually did an audit last night with a lady from the UK on my actual LinkedIn page, and I thought I had changed my page to being about the people that I was talking about. And she looked at it and she said, this is you, this is you, this is you. She said, I looked at them and thought, I really like those things and I want those benefits. So I did send her the 9-minute video. But she said, but it's all about you, it's not about what I can get out of it. I thought, how cool is that? That's what Trevor said to me last night. He said the same thing. He said, it's about what the people can achieve. Okay, so next bit, what I wanted to do is, this is all in the training pack. Or once you watch the presentation, you just keep pressing play afterwards. How I do it is I've got it downloaded on my laptop, and I just press play in the car. I don't watch it. It's sitting next to me playing in the car while I'm driving around, driving between jobs and things like that. So that's pretty cool fun. Again, your training, it's 10 to 20 hours of dedicated, well actually not even dedicated, of watching it in your background, then come back to it, take some notes. It is way less than the 4 years I did my degree. We looked at yesterday or the day before, there was a live feed from the guys from New Zealand. He's a helicopter pilot. He spent 2.5 years full time to get to where he could do helicopter pilot. She was a lawyer. She'd done 6 years in her uni degree, right? They're now making over 150 grand a year out of this thing. Like, how good is that? Seriously exciting. The things there, we can do it. It's awesome. But what we want to do is just have a quick look here. Zach and Eden talk a little bit about how you actually communicating with people. It's funny because when I was talking to him the other day, he said, well, how do you get your next 5,000 people to talk to? And I was like, really interesting. I said, you don't need 5,000. And that was part of the feedback last night from the lady on LinkedIn training. I've got 6,500 contacts on LinkedIn now. I've not had any success at any of it because my approach has been wrong. I'm going to fix that. I know how to fix it now. We'll work on that. But the thing about it, she said you don't need 6,500 people to become successful. You need to concentrate on a small number of people. I think I've heard before, help 5, help 5, help 5, help 5, somewhere before. That's just a little love tap that I've been receiving lately. Okay, so we'll jump into the video here and share
the program with people. Everything has got to be about the potential benefits for the people you are actually sharing the program with. Everything's got to be put in terms of benefits to them. And it's important to realise that what you're trying to do is to build a relationship, build a friendship with those people that you're sharing. I mean, in the end, they're going to get in with you. Right? And they've got to get to the point where they know, like, and trust you. Now, there are different ways to do this. And before we go through all the slides and how to use the slides in the presentation, what we're going to do is we're going to listen to Ethan and Zach Sloven, where they do a brilliant little short talk on how to talk to people. You'll love this.
David and Angelique did an awesome call on Sunday in regards to connecting, building relationships with people, really taking an interest in who they are, how to present ourselves on social media so that we can create some variety in terms of our interests and what we're talking about, that we're not just pushing a product all the time, so that our new friends don't feel like all we're trying to do is sell them. There was loads of value that they added on the call on Sunday night. We learned a lot, and we're just here to offer a couple of techniques and possibly some language that you can use with these friends that you're making. And at what point do you want to talk with them about Isagenix? At what point do you ask them to take a look? At what point do you let them know that you think they'd be amazing at what you're doing? At what point do you do that? Now, some people will say build a relationship for however long and, you know, allow it to happen naturally. And some people are going to say just go right away, you know, be upfront, be forthcoming, let them know immediately. I kind of dance between the two. There's some people who I meet and right away I just say, you know what, you'd be amazing at what I do. And I use past, present, future with them. And sometimes it's not appropriate. So for example, we met a woman last week while we were out on our dog walk. We talked about health and wellness. She just moved back from the UK. We had a conversation and she and I connected, and we just went on a 2-hour walk this morning, just her and I, walking our dogs. I would say out of the 2 hours of our conversation, maybe 10 minutes had to do with Isagenix and our business. That's it. And it wasn't about selling her on anything. It was more than anything telling her more about what I do and building the relationship. I don't want her to think that I'm trying to sell her, and I'm really not. I am really interested in just being her friend. And if it happens to work out and it happens to be a good fit, that over time I really start to see the qualities that would lend themselves to her being an incredible fit inside of our business, then of course I'll start to be more and more forthcoming, more and more upfront, and more direct. But every relationship is going to be a little bit different. And 4.5 years in, I've learned kind of what some of those differences are and how to pivot and move with different relationships. Whereas in the beginning, I was just a vulture and I just prospected everybody all the time. And now I've learned to wait with certain people sometimes, and some people, I just really go right at them. You'll learn to feel out different personality types as you go. Sometimes it takes making mistakes and blowing people out of the water to learn when to pull back and when to stop talking, like right now.
No,
So guys, that video goes on from there, and it actually gives you some specific techniques in talking about it. I don't want to spoil it for you, so I encourage you to download it and watch it, because the training and everything else we've got available to us is absolutely incredible. We're here in this function, absolutely awesome, and awesome job getting Linda getting this venue. It's such a good venue, it's seriously cool. But what we've got coming up, so we've got celebration coming up 22nd to 25th February up in Brisbane again. There is an MIKO as well, isn't there?
There'll be a New Year kickoff.
New Year kickoff
in
some stage as well.
January.
All of those functions will just give you a little bit bigger picture, okay? And just a little closer, we've got the Fiji promotion going at the moment. It's still 3 weeks to qualify for that. So remember to do that, what you're looking for is 10 people personal, and to generate 10,000 points from helping those people get started and helping those people help their people get started. Awesome promotion, and again, if you've been on the ANZ, Isagenix ANZ business page, they've been doing live feeds out of it, and again, this week there were 2 girls, both of them got involved in the business in January. Both of them now have qualified already for the Fiji promotion by just getting out there. They're starting with helping their best friend and their best friend's mother get started, and then building from there, okay? It is still definitely possible to qualify in the next 3 weeks. It is absolutely possible to do it, but you'll need your list. So go through, write out your list, and then work out what you're comfortable to talk to people about and get out and go for it. Love to see you guys in Fiji. Thanks for listening, and hope that's good.
Well done, George.